Welcome back, Kitchen Sink family members. Welcome back. I'm truly grateful, truly grateful. Guys, we are growing. Don't be left behind. And one way you do this is to share these videos, share with other people. I'm hoping that we are triggering conversation wherever you are. Things that you may not have even thought about. The last time I raised an issue about fears that we might have as people, but they may not reside in our conscious mind. It may not be something that you're aware of on a daily basis, but once you go through some experience, you realize, yeah, I have this fear, I have this anxiety, or it takes you back to a place and a time of trauma in your life, and all the fears that came from that experience, they will come back, and before you realize it, you are in a state that you never anticipated. So I'm saying to us, issues of mental wellness, issues of trauma, issues of life experiences in general, don't look at them lightly, And I would want to kick off by encouraging us, if you in your life journey experience some kind of deep pain, it could be from trauma, it could be from mechanical trauma or something psychological, like I was alluding to, something from sickness, fears, due to sickness. As I've been thinking about it since the last time, we lost our parents, my parents-in-law, one after another, basically due to sickness. After that, we lost other family members. And so sickness, particularly, tagged cancer, is just triggered a lot of fears in us. And all I'm trying to say is, don't belittle such things. Before you know it, you can become trapped, in your own fears, and before you know it, sickness will conquer you. But I thank God that we are standing. I thank God that I found time to think about how else did we survive, how else were we able to conquer, particularly in the aspects of areas of life where we ourselves could help. How else did we find strength to overcome? And one of the critical areas was friends. There arose around us faithful men and women, young and old, who stood with us, who were resilient. And today I'm an ambassador for such friendships. I speak for friendship, that guys, friendships work. I know in this generation of technology, friends on Facebook, family on YouTube, you also need, friends and family in the physical. Those that will knock at your door when you can't even raise your head to check out Facebook, to check out Instagram. You need those people in your life. As usual, we will put a scripture to it. And particularly this one, I would like us to read it from the New King James Version, because it's bringing out something that I really like, and I won't even read it in Shona. I'll just read it in English. And it says, "A man who has friends must himself be friendly. But there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother." Guys, life can be tough. It can be really, really tough. Once one preacher once said, when you are in a tough space like that, don't surround yourself with fellow wounded soldiers. They may not be your best hope of strength, but find people that in themselves are strong, so that you draw strength from them and you will be able to overcome. At the time I listened to that message, because I was not in any serious space of life. I listened and I let it pass. But it came back to me after the journey I shared with you of sickness, and loss of a job, business. I listened to myself, and I realized that this is the time where I need family, I need friends that are with me to stand with me. So I want us to just discuss the subject matter of friends and friendships, because I experienced it. One of the biggest things that I realized was some of those friends and friendships came from the least expected corners of in our community. I'm not saying we were enemies with those people. No. But they were people that were of importance to us. But once we hit a bump, my goodness, there arose men and women, soldiers around us. And I realized that relationships are very important and we cannot belittle this. So as you live life, the tendency is to respond to the negative vibes of relationships, peer pressure, gossip, malice, things like that. But from our journey that we went through, I realized that you will draw strength from people when they come to give you life. All these men and women that came, their agenda, their business was just to give my husband life and to give myself life. He experienced many men in his life. And you realize that, you know what, guys? Don't always be in competition with each other. Complementing each other is such a virtue that you will need when you least expect it. Don't always have buddies. All you're drawing from them is, they've achieved this, I want to do better than them. They've done this, I want to do this. It's some people survive by that. But when you are yourself in a deep, you need people who will come to give you strength, to complement you, just to be available to you, so that in your life you can rely and depend on another's strength. That's all that I'm saying here. I'm saying friendships are important, and the deeper they are, the better even. I remember very well the day that news was broke to me, because the doctor told me first. I remember sending a voice note to my sisters, telling them that please do not phone me. Please do not phone me. I'm in a quandary. I have just received such bad news. And I'm driving around. Don't phone me. Did they not phone me? The next minute, the first one to listen to that voice note, they were on the phone phoning, and I told them, don't phone me. I'll end up in an accident, And they realized that what I needed then was not a word, via internet. They had to look for people on the ground. And all my sisters, my biological sisters, could not come to where I was at that time, but they sent for a friend of mine who herself was at work. But the moment one of my sisters said, we've just received this voice note, I think you need to be with her. Can you be with her? She left her office and she came to be with me. Friendships are crucial. Nurture them, as in NURT, URE. Nurture friendships. You never know when you need that support the most. And don't assume that this one is my friend because we come from the same area, we come from the same village. Are they aware that they are your friend? Have you ever had that conversation that you are each other's friend? I find that there are many people who assume that Mairanganai, I'm their friend. Me, I'm thinking I'm ministering to them, Or I can think that so-and-so is my friend. In the meantime, they are thinking, no, we're just buddies. Friendships are valuable. You need to cultivate, you need to nurture them, you need to invest in them, because when you need friendships, they will come in handy. One of these days, I promise, I'll have a conversation with this particular friend that I'm talking about, because she's the one who's near. My other best friend is away in the diaspora. But even her, the one in the diaspora, she came back. She came home. I remember when the day that she came, my husband was feeling a little bit better, and I asked him to go to the airport to go and pick her up because she didn't believe we were telling her the truth. Guys, friendship is important. The time to almost always be criticizing each other is not necessary. If I've done something wrong, or if you think I can do something better, instead of you criticizing me, just critique me. Tell me the good that I'm doing. Tell me the better that I can do. Then maybe raise the bed that I have done, but not without highlighting the good that I've done, not without highlighting the better that I can do. Don't just tell me of the bad that I have done. And I don't, comparison, ladies and gentlemen, no need to be comparing each other in a time of crisis, even in life in general. Somebody said comparison is the thief of joy. You waste time comparing, competing with each other when you're supposed to complement and to build each other up. I learned a lot when we went through this journey in our lives, that friendships are important, family is important. We have young men who would take my husband out for tea, for coffee, for lunch, for a drive, just so that he would be away from the space where he was experiencing the pain and the suffering. They made sure they would take him away and just give him something, positive to talk about in life. And I learned and I realized that, what? Even though these young men and young women in our lives, we would have never pointed to them as friends, but for such a time, many men were raised for us. And I'm sharing this with you, Kitchen Sink family members. Don't trivialize people. Don't be condescending. Don't look down on people. You never know who will come to your rescue. You will actually never know. And God will do it just so that he will correct some of your attitudes. And God did that for us. And so all I'm trying to say is, check your life. Do you have any friends? Are you investing in somebody, through friendship, or in your family? Are you investing? Are you such a person that you are willing to invest in a relationship? Because a time to withdraw from such a relationship will come. And particularly to have friends that you nurture and value as a couple if you are married, so that when they come to their rescue, it's a husband-wife team, not just maybe someone to look out after your husband or after your wife, but as a team, they can come to your rescue and you would experience life better again in the company of people that choose to be with you in your time of suffering, in your time of pain. So it's because of what we discussed in the last video that I thought, what? One of the greatest areas that brought us life was friends and friendship and family. We found a lot of refreshment from those sectors. I remember my husband's young brother, the last born in their family. The first time he heard that his brother was sick and was in hospital, I don't think he bathed that morning. I've never really asked. Maybe I should ask him. And he even arrived without his wife. He just got into his car and he came to hospital. And when he arrived, I said to him, where's your wife? And he said, I just left. I just left home. And when he said that, I looked at him and I thought, did he bath? But because family was calling, his brother's life was at stake, he literally just left home and he came. Guys, relationships are important. Don't trivialize people. Don't trivialize friendships. Don't be someone who says, I live life alone. You are not okay on your own. A time will come where you will need family and you will need friends. So please invest in those relationships. Thank you very much for coming along. Ask me questions. Ask me questions in the comment section. You can even ask me on WhatsApp so that I can take a Q&A of this experience that we went through. I'm willing to answer questions on this subject matter. But I just want to thank you for coming along. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. See you soon.